Hello YouTube, Canadian Edge here, and we're going to do a review today. And the knife we have with us today, it is the Camillus Machine, or Camillus, however you want to pronounce that. I say Camillus. And yeah, this is an interesting little knife. It's very light. Oh, I forgot to find the weight on it. Anyway, it has a blade length of 2.75 inches. Open, it is 6.75 inches, and closed, it is 4 inches. The steel on this, it is a 420 stainless steel. So easy to sharpen. Won't necessarily hold the edge as long as some of the other steels, but you know what, you can sharpen it up, not a big deal. And as I say, I forgot the weight on this thing. I'm still trying to find where my scale disappeared to. But I'm going to say it's maybe around 3 ounces. It's not very heavy. Maybe in the 2s even. And so yeah, not a heavy knife. The handle on this, it is a glass-filled nylon with carbon fiber inlay. And you can see that on there, and they even have the fancy little knife design on the carbon fiber, which I kind of think is cool. And they have the knife design on the pocket clip as well. You can't really see that. Get it in the light so it shows. But yeah, they have the design on the pocket clip as well. Speaking of the pocket clip, it is right hand only. And it is tip up, but definitely not deep carry, because there's a lot of the knife going to be sticking out. But yeah, it works not bad. So you have liner lock on this. The opening, it has actually a nail nick on there, which, you know what, not all that excited about. You can do the pinch opening, where you just kind of pinch the blade between the finger and the thumb, and then finish opening it with your thumb. But you want to be careful doing that, because it is easy to cut yourself that way. There is jimping on the back of the blade and a little bit of a thumb ramp there, which I'm liking. And you could, if you really wanted to, you could put a lanyard on here, because you have lots of space at the back with this spacer that you could add a clip, or even on this one, top one, that you could add a clip and it wouldn't interfere with the blade at all. So you could add a lanyard if you wanted to. This is not exactly centered. These knives are about, what are they, 35 bucks here in Canada. I got this one for a steal of a deal. It was on clearance for $8. But not centered, so I could fix that if I really want to. I probably won't, but yes, if I did want to, I could. But there is no blade play. Sits in there nice and solid, and super light little knife. So let's take a look at size comparison and see just how it compares with other knives. So we've got the Ontario Rat 2, and they're pretty close to the same size, and the Bug Out by Benchmade, and the Bug Out's a little bit bigger, but so you can see it is a smaller knife. And we'll grab a couple other ones here. We've got the Sencut Saxi, and we have the Civivi Cogent. And you can see those are both quite a bit bigger. Yeah. So, as I say, it's not a big knife, but for people who like smaller, lighter knives, it's a great little knife, I think. And let's check out and see the sharpness on it. It has a good edge on the blade there. We'll try my favorite, the good old zip tie. See how it fares with that. And it takes a little effort, but not crazy effort. We'll try the garden twine. Oops, well, it did cut it, but it slipped out of my hand, so we'll see if we can get the other. Oh, yeah, it's cutting even as we try and line it up. So maybe the edge isn't too bad. And yeah, it cuts through that fairly easily. So I did, carry this for a little while. As I was going to say, I'm not a super big fan of having to open it that way. I can open it one-handed. But, in this day and age, when knife makers are all making flippers and thumb studs and thumb holes and stuff like that, yeah, you think maybe other companies would go along with that. The nail nick, while, it cuts down on protrusions and stuff like that, it's, not a preferred way of opening a knife, at least not in my books. So anyway, I do like the aesthetics of it. I think what they've done here with the handle is pretty decent. The liners, the scales there, it's a good look on the scales. The carbon fiber, nice finish. Got some little indents there and a little different shape. The shape, you know what, if you got a big hand, you might not be a fan of the shape, because this is going to be a big bulge at the end there. But for my hand, which is medium size, it's okay, because my finger ends there and then the little finger sits down on the end. But somebody with a bigger hand, they might find that a bit bulky and awkward in the hand. And I like the look of the blade there, the Tanto style. I've always been a fan of the Tanto style knives, so yeah, liking the aesthetics on it, the ergonomics on it, they're pretty decent. This thumb ramp and jimping, it gives you a good purchase on the knife. So, but it feels like it wants to lift on the back end when you're using it. So I opened packages and that, nothing heavy duty with this, but you could go a little heavier with it. The grip on it, it's good. They chamfered that area a little bit, so you got nice, comfortable. It's fairly comfortable fit. Good solid grip. It shouldn't slip much in your hand at all. Just as I say, this is kind of awkward. Not a real big fan of that. It's a little bulkier. Maybe if they would have taken it off the top a little bit more. But I get it. They're trying to go for a little bit of design and make it interesting. But yeah, it's not a bad knife. The fit and finish on it, it's fairly decent. No real rough edges on it. And yeah, it's okay. What I didn't really care for was it does feel like a bulky knife. It's somewhat thick for a little knife like this. And as I said, I am not a fan of the nail nick opening, but the pivot on it is not a pivot either. It's a stiff pivot. So I don't know that even with thumb studs, maybe with a flipper tab you could get it open. Thumb studs you could obviously get it open, but I'm not sure that it would just flick open. So yeah, Camless, maybe work on your pivot a little bit. It's a stiff pivot. And if I was going to fix the blade, I'd fix up the pivot as well, loosen it up and that. But like I say, I'm probably not going to go to all the effort to do that. I might try and loosen the pivot up just a little bit to see if it'll open a little easier, but definitely not drop close or anything like that. And it has gotten easier the more I've worked with it and broke it in. But still, you know, I prefer knives that I can flick open and they're ready for use. So, but this is the Camillus machine, and that's all I'm going to say about that. So you can check those out. Well, actually, I'm going to say a little bit more. If you're looking for an inexpensive, everyday carry knife, you might want to check these out. I think it would be great for light work, you know, in the toolkit or in the garden or in the office, opening packages and stuff like that. It would be great for that. It doesn't feel like a heavy duty knife, but maybe I'm wrong. It might be more durable than I'm giving it credit for. It doesn't necessarily feel like a cheap knife. It just doesn't feel heavy duty as well. But yeah, you could use that for an everyday carry knife, and I'm sure it would work great for the jobs that you want to do. So that is the Camillus machine. Check them out wherever you find Camillus knives sold. And yeah, thanks for watching the review. Check out the other reviews and unboxings that I have on the channel. And we will do this all again, but until then, you stay safe and stay sharp.